All right, now let's discuss the accounting for allowances in detail. So accounting for allowances, because this is something very important to understand. Accounting for allowances. Now, the first thing first is that this allowance is basically an accounting estimate. This is an accounting estimate. Now, why we are calling it an accounting estimate? Because we are not sure that we will be having the irrecoverable debts. There is a possibility that some receivables might not pay, and we are even not sure about the amount. We believe, for example, 0.5% of the receivables might not pay, 1% of the receivables might not pay. So there is a possibility. So that we are not absolutely sure regarding that thing. So whenever you are taking the judgments in order to reach the figure in accounting, we call it as an accounting estimate. So the journal entry for the allowances is, we have already discussed it, that debit profit or loss, so debit irrecoverable debt. So this goes to the profit or loss, and credit allowance for irrecoverable debt or allowance for receivables. So if we see this double entry in the form of the T accounts, because that is something important to understand. So allowance is basically having a credit nature, because this is eventually a reduction in the receivable. So receivable is an asset, and any reduction in the asset is being shown as a credit entry. So what we're going to do is, let's make an allowance for the receivable. So the first year double entry would be, because there's a possibility that some receivables might not pay. So what we're going to do is we make an account of the allowance. So allowance is being credited, and the reference is being given of the irrecoverable debt. So that means irrecoverable debt, or you can write profit or loss instead. So irrecoverable debt, and this becomes the closing balance. This becomes the closing balance. Now, next year, this closing balance becomes the opening balance. The next year, this will be an opening balance. And again, the same story. In the next year, what we're gonna do is we see whether there is an increase or decrease in an allowance. Now, because this was your accounting estimate, so the actual figures may change. For example, you were thinking that 1% of your receivables might get bad, but the story was opposite. Now you believe that, okay, you need to increase your allowance, and 2% of the receivables might not pay because your receivable department was not performing well. You're having difficulties in recovering the amount. So that is why you believe now that 2% of the receivables might not pay. 1% allowance has already been created, and now you believe that one more person should be over there. So you need to increase your allowance. So if you have created the allowance once, then every year you need to see whether there is an increase or decrease in the allowance, because this is your accounting estimate. An accounting estimate is not something absolutely sure. You need to see every year whether your figure which you judged initially went well or not. If you believe that there is a change, you need to change it. So the first case might be increase, and the second case might be decrease. Now, decrease is when, for example, you believe that 2% of the receivables might not recover, and your receivable department perform exceptionally well, and now you are decreasing your allowance for the receivables. So there can be both of the cases. There can be an increase case, there can be a decrease case as well. So whenever there is an increase case, what you're going to do is pass the same journal entry: debit irrecoverable debt. That means debit profit or loss. So debit irrecoverable debt, and credit is the allowance. You need to increase the allowance for receivables or allowance for irrecoverable debt. And in case of the decrease, you need to perform the reverse entry, opposite entry. That means decreasing the allowance, because now you believe that allowance should be less. So allowance for receivables should be decreased, and the entry goes to the profit or loss. That means irrecoverable debt goes to the profit or loss. In other words, you can simply understand it that increase in allowance is recorded as an expense, and the decrease in allowance is recorded as an income, or you can call it as the reversal of expense. Whatever you call it, you can apply both of the logics. So expense or the reversal of expense. So when we believe that allowance should be increased, debit irrecoverable debt, this double entry goes to the profit or loss. And whenever we debit the profit or loss, that means either we are charging expense or the loss. In the case of decrease, we are crediting the irrecoverable debt. Again, this entry goes to the profit or loss. And whenever we are crediting the profit or loss, that simply means we are recording either the income or the gain. So whenever there is an increase in the allowance, so that we charge expense. Whenever there is decrease, we charge reversal of expense or the income. So let's take this case first. This is the first case, and this is the second case. Let's assume we were having an increase. So what we're going to do is the same entry, debited recoverable debt, credit allowance. So allowance account is being credited. Again, we're going to give the reference of the irrecoverable debt. And then we have, again, the closing balance thing. Now, again, the next year, this becomes the opening balance. So now let's discuss the case number 2, which is there's a decrease in the allowance. So when there's decrease in the allowance, the allowance account is being debited. So allowance account is being debited due to the irrecoverable debt. Again, this is the profit or loss figure. And then we have the same story again, the closing balance. So this is how we show the accounting entries within the T account. So remember one thing, that accounting for allowances is pretty easy. So this is an accounting estimate. Because this is an accounting estimate, so your estimate can change every year. So once we have created the allowance, every year, then you need to see whether there's an increase or decrease in the allowance. If there's increase in the allowance, you need to pass the same double entry, and it means you're charging as an expense. And when there is decrease in the allowance, that means you need to pass the opposite double entry. That simply means income or the reversal of expense. Now, 2 more things regarding the allowances. The first thing is that there are 2 types of allowances, 2 broad types of allowances, 2 types of allowances. 2 types of allowances. The first one, we have the general allowance. And then we have the specific allowance. Now, I've already told you that allowances for the receivables where you're having a doubt that some receivables might not pay. So for example, if it is regarding the overall receivables, like you're not talking about any particular receivables, you believe, for example, 1% of the total receivables might not pay, 2% of the total receivables might not pay. This is known as the general allowance, where you're talking about the overall receivables, and we are not talking about specifically regarding anyone. But for example, you believe Mr. A is doubtful and Mr. A might not pay. Mr. B is doubtful and Mr. B might not pay. Or Miss C is doubtful, Miss C might not pay. Then what you're going to do, you create the specific allowance. So that means for specific receivables. So for specific receivables, we charge the specific allowances. For example, if there are no specific receivables, then there will be the general allowances, which means the overall percentage of the receivable which you believe might not pay. Now, another important thing which is relevant for the working, this is the exam focus point that you need to remember. This is the exam focus thing. That whenever you will be having a question within your exam regarding the receivables. So what you're going to do is you take the opening balance. You take the opening balance, and opening balance is the receivable balance which is being given within the question. This is the opening balance. Okay, so the balance either of the ledger or, for example, the statement of financial position. But remember, when we have the ledger balance, that means there is no deduction of allowance from it. But when you're having a statement of financial position balance, so remember that means the allowance has already been deducted from it. So that point needs to be remembered. So either it is going to be a ledger balance or the balance of the statement of financial position. The difference is in the ledger balances, we do not have any allowances deducted from it. But if we have the statement of financial position balance, that means allowance has already been deducted. So we take the opening balance. And then we deduct what? Irrecoverable debts to be written down. And this is again something very, very important to have been noted within the exam. Irrecoverable debts to be written down, to be written off, or to be written down. That means, for example, if there is some irrecoverable debt or bad debt within the question, that it still needs to be written down. You have not recorded it yet. Then first you deduct that particular balance from it. But for example, if it says irrecoverable that has already been written down, has already been written off, then there's no need to deduct the irrecoverable that balance from it, because otherwise it will be deducted twice. So make sure it is not a past tense that has already been deducted, had been deducted. It should not be a past tense. It should be something which you're supposed to do. Irrecoverable that's to be written down. Then you will have the, for example, net balance. And after that, you will be doing what? You deduct the specific allowances. Specific allowances, and then you will have the general allowances. General allowances. So general allowances is the percentage of this balance. For example, just make it star. So this star balance into the percentage which you have the overall receivables, and then we have this balance that goes to the statement of financial position. This balance goes to the statement of financial position. So remember one thing, we take the opening balance. First, we deduct the irrecoverable that's to be written down because they are not already written down. So first you deduct that balance, and then we have the net balance. Then you first deduct the specific allowances, and then we apply the general allowances, and then we get the balance which should be recorded within the statement of financial position. Now let's talk about the figures of the statement of profit or loss. If in the question, examiner asks you what goes to the statement of profit or loss, what goes in the statement of profit or loss? So remember what goes, this working, very, very important. So we have the irrecoverable debt within the statement of profit or loss because this is an expense. And if there is increase in allowance, we know we have already studied the accounting for allowances. If there is increase in the allowance, that is recorded as an expense. If there is decrease in the allowances, that is recorded as income. So increase in allowance is added because that is an expense. Decrease in allowance is the reversal of expense, so we deduct it. So increase or decrease in allowances, and then we just write this simple thing over here. And then we have the last thing, which is irrecoverable debts recovered. Irrecoverable debts recovered. For example, there were some bad debts you initially charged, and then fortunately those were recovered. So we are going to deduct that thing as well. Now this is the figure that goes to the statement of profit or loss. Now, what is the double entry for this irrecoverable debt which has been recovered? So what we're going to do is the double entry would be debit cash and credit irrecoverable debt. Because we initially recorded that thing as an expense, now it has been recovered. So we are going to credit it because either it's an income or you apply the logic of the reversal of expense. So if there was a bad debt which was initially booked, but now it is the receivable has been recovered. So debit cash, credit irrecoverable debt. Now you see why you are adding these two figures, because irrecoverable debt is an expense. Increase in allowance is an expense. Decrease in allowance is the reversal of expense. So we add expense into expense, we deduct reversal of expense. And similarly, this irrecoverable debt recovered is also the reversal of expense. So this is the figure that goes to the statement of the profit or loss. So do not forget this thing, that this is the figure. If the examiner asks you that what figure goes to the statement of profit or loss, so we have the irrecoverable debt, we have increase in allowance being recorded as an expense, decrease in allowance recorded as a reversal of expense or income, and then we have the bad debts recovered. Regarding the statement of financial position, you take the opening balance, but again, remember, notice this thing, whether this balance represents the ledger balance or statement of financial position balance. We deduct the irrecoverable debts to be written down. If it has already been written down, there's no need to deduct it because otherwise it would be a twice thing. Then we deduct the specific allowances, and then we have the general allowances as the percentage of the net balance. And then we get the figure that goes to the statement of the financial position. Make sure that we know the accounting entries of increase or decrease for the exam. So this is all about accounting for receivables, irrecoverable debts, and the allowances for the receivables.